Welcome, kindred spirits, to a place of positivity, passion, and purpose. Thank you for choosing our video on Mahajanapadas. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. The Mahājanapadas were 16 kingdoms and aristocratic republics that existed in ancient India from the 6th to 4th centuries BCE during the second urbanisation period. Let's now turn our attention to history and uncover the fascinating insights it brings to the table. The 6th centuries BCE are often regarded as a major turning point in early Indian history. During this period, India's first large cities since the demise of the Indus Valley civilization arose. It was also the time of the rise of Sramana movements, including Buddhism and Jainism, which challenged the religious orthodoxy of the Vedic period. Two of the Mahājanapadas were most probably aristocratic republics, and others had forms of monarchy. Ancient Buddhist texts like the Anguttara Nikaya make frequent reference to 16 great kingdoms and republics that had developed and flourished in a belt stretching from Gandhara in the northwest to Anga in the east to Asmaka in the southern part of the Indian subcontinent. They included parts of the Trans-Vindhyan region, and all had developed prior to the rise of Buddhism in India. Archaeologically, this period has been identified as corresponding in part to the northern black polished ware culture. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on overview and its role in shaping our understanding. The term Janapada literally means the foothold of a people. The fact that Janapada is derived from Jana points to an early stage of land taking by the Jana people for a settled way of life. This process of settlement on land had completed its final stage prior to the times of the Buddha and Pini. The pre-Buddhist northern Indian subcontinent was divided into several Janapadas, demarcated from each other by boundaries. In Pini's Ashadhyayi, Janapada stands for country and Janapadin for its citizenry. Each of these Janapadas was named after the Kshatriya people or the Kshatriya Jana who had settled therein. Buddhist and other texts only incidentally refer to 16 great nations, solus or Mahājanapadas, that existed prior to the time of the Buddha. They do not give any connected history except in the case of Magadha. The Buddhist Anguttara Nikaya, at several places, gives a list of 16 great states. 1. Anga 2. Asmaka 3. Avanti 4. Shidi 5. Gandhara 6. Kosi 7. Kamboja 8, Kosala 9, Kur 10, Magadha 11, Mala 12, Matsya or Makcha 13, Panchala 14, Soasina 15, Fuji 16, Vatsa or Vamsa. Another Buddhist text, the Digha Nikaya, mentions 12 Mahājanapadas from the above list and omits 4 of them: Asaka, Avanti, Gandhara, and Kamboja. Chalanidsa, another ancient text of the Buddhist canon, adds Kalinga to the list and substitutes Yona for Gandhara, thus listing the Kamboja and the Yona as the only Mahājanapadas from Uttarpatha. The Vikipediarreader or the Bhagavati Sutra, a sutra of Jainism, gives a different list of 16 Mahājanapadas. 1. Anga 2, Bangavanga 3, Magadha 4, Malaya 5, Mulavaka 6, Acha 7, Vatcha 8, Kotcha 9, Pada 10, Lata Rad or Lotta 11, Beji Voji 12, Moli Mala 13, Kosi 14, Kosala 15, Avoha 16, Sambhatra 17. Ruma. The author of the Bhagavati Sutra or the Vikipediarreader has a focus on the countries of Madhyadesa and of the Far East and South only. He omits the nations from Uttarpatha like the Kamboja and Gandhara. The more extended horizon of the Bhagavati and the omission of all countries from Uttarpatha clearly shows that the Bhagavati list is of later origin and therefore less reliable. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine Aga and its connections to our previous discussions. The first reference to the Angas is found in the Atharvaveda, where they find mention along with the Magadhas, Gandharas and the Mjavats, apparently as a despised people. The Jaina Pranipana ranks Angas and Vangas in the first group of Aryan people. It mentions the principal cities of ancient India. It was also a great center of trade and commerce, and its merchants regularly sailed to distant Suvarnabhumi. Anga was annexed by Magadha in the time of Bimbisara. This was the one and only conquest of Bimbisara. Let's now turn our attention to Omaka and examine its role within the larger context. The country of Asaka or the Ashmaka tribe was located in Dakshinapatha or southern India. It included areas in present-day Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Maharashtra. In Gautama Buddha's time, many of the Asakis were located on the banks of the Godavari River south of the Vindhya Mountains. The capital of the Asakis was Potana or Potali, which corresponds present-day Bodhan in Telangana and Paudanya of Mahabharata. In Maharashtra, its capital is located in Potali, which corresponds to present-day Nandura, Buldana district. The Ashmakas are also mentioned by Pini. They are placed in the northwest in the Markandeya Purana and the Brat Samhita. The river Godavari separated the country of the Asakis from that of the Mulikas or Ulakas. The country of Asaka lay outside the pale of Madhyadesa. It was located on a southern high road, the Dakshinapatha. At one time, Asaka included Mulika and abutted Avanti. In the upcoming portion, we'll be dissecting Avanti to gain a comprehensive understanding of its implications. The country of the Avantis was an important kingdom of western India and was one of the four great monarchies in India in the post-era of Mahavira and Buddha, the other three being Kosala, Vatsa and Magadha. Avanti was divided into north and south by the river Narmada. Initially, Mahishmati was the capital of southern Avanti, and Ujjaini Sanskrit, Ujjaini was of northern Avanti, but at the times of Mahavira and Buddha, Ujjaini was the capital of integrated Avanti. The country of Avanti roughly corresponded to modern Malwa, Nimar and adjoining parts of today's Madhya Pradesh. Both Mahishmati and Ujjaini stood on the southern high road called Dakshinapatha, which extended from Rajagriha to Prayeshvan and modern Pathan. Avanti was an important centre of Buddhism, and some of the leading Thuras and Theris were born and resided there. King Nandivana of Avanti was defeated by King Shishaniga of Magadha. Avanti later became part of the Magadhan Empire. In this section, we'll be peeling back the layers of Chedi to reveal its true essence. The Chetis or Chetias had two distinct settlements, of which one was in the mountains of Nepal and the other in Bundelkhand near Kosambi. According to old authorities, Chedis lay near Yamuna midway between the kingdom of Kuras and Vatsas. In the medieval period, the southern frontiers of Chedi extended to the banks of the river Narmada. Sothivatnagara, the Sakti or Saktamati of Mahabharata, was the capital of Chedi. The Chedis were an ancient people of India and are mentioned in the Rigveda, with their king Kashachadya. The location of the capital city, Saktamati, has not been established with certainty. Historian Hemchandra Rachaudhuri and Fahrenheit. East. Parjita believed that it was in the vicinity of Banda, Uttar Pradesh. Archaeologist Dilip Kumar Chakrabarti has proposed that Saktamati can be identified as the ruins of a large early historical city, at a place with the modern-day name Itha, on the outskirts of Rua, Madhya Pradesh. Brace yourself for an enlightening exploration of Gandhara as we dive into its profound implications. Gandhar coin of early Gandhar Janapada, AR Shatamana and 1/8 Shatamana round, Taxila Gandhara region. Taxila local coinage, circa 220–185 Kokka, coin of Takshashila, portrays a tree flanked by a hill surmounted by a crescent and a Nandapada above a swastika. The wall of the Gandharas is referred to in the Rigveda. The Gandharas and their king figure prominently as strong allies of the Kuras against the Pandavas in the Mahabharata war. The Gandharas were furious people, well trained in the art of war. According to Puranic traditions, this Janapada was founded by Gandhara, son of Arada, a descendant of Yati. The princes of this country are said to have come from the line of Drihu, who was a famous king of the Rigvedic period and one of the 5 sons of King Yati of Luna dynasty. The river Indus watered the lands of Gandhara. Taxashila and Pushalavati, the 2 cities of this Mahajanapada, are said to have been named after Taxa and Pushkara, the 2 sons of Bharata, a prince of Ayodhya and younger brother of Lord Rama. According to Vayu Purana, the Gandharas were destroyed by Pramati aka Akalika at the end of Kali Yuga. Pliny mentioned both the Vedic form Gandhari as well as the later form Gandhara in his Ashadhyayi. The Gandhara kingdom sometimes also included Kashmira. Hecate's of Miletus refers to Kaspakuru's Kasyapura or Purushapura, i.e. modern-day Peshawar, as a Gandharic city. According to Gandhara Yotaka, at one time, Gandhara formed a part of the kingdom of Kashmira. The Yotaka also gives another name Chandahara for Gandhara. Gandhara Mahajanapadas of Buddhist traditions included territories of East Afghanistan and northwest of the Punjab modern districts of Peshawar, Purushapura and Rawalpindi. Its later capital was Taxila, Prakrit for Taxila. The Taxila University was a renowned center of learning in ancient times, where scholars from all over the world came to seek higher education. Pliny, the Indian genius of grammar, and Kautilya are the world-renowned products of Taxila University. King Pukasati or Pushkarasaran of Gandhara in the middle of the 6th century BCE was the contemporary of King Bimbisara of Magadha. Gandhara was located on the northern high road Uttarapatha and was a center of international commercial activities. According to one group of scholars, the Gandharas and Kambojas were cognate people. It is also contended that the Kuras, Kambojas, Gandharas and Bolikas were cognate people. According to Drive T. L. Shah, the Gandhara and Kamboja were nothing but two provinces of one empire and were located coterminously, hence influencing each other's language. Naturally, they may have once been a cognate people. Gandhara was often linked politically with the neighboring regions of Kashmira and Kamboja. Get ready for an enlightening exploration as we dig into Kamboja and understand its role in the broader context. Kambojas are also included in the Uttarapatha. In ancient literature, the Kamboja is variously associated with the Gandhara, Daroda and the Bolika Bactria. Ancient Cambodia is known to have comprised regions on either side of the Hindu Kush. The original Cambodia was located in eastern Oxus country as neighbor to Bolika, but with time, some clans of the Cambojas appear to have crossed the Hindu Kush and planted colonies on its southern side also. These latter Cambojas are associated with the Dardas and Gandharas in Indian literature and also find mention in the edicts of Ashoka. The evidence in the Mahabharata and in Ptolemy's geography distinctly supports two Camboja settlements. The Cis-Hindu Kush region from Nuristan up to Rajouri in southwest of Kashmir sharing borders with the Dardas and the Gandharas constituted the Camboja country. The capital of Cambodia was probably Rajapura, modern Rajouri in the southwest of Kashmir. The Camboja Mahajanapadas of the Buddhist traditions refers to this Cis-Hindu Kush branch of ancient Cambojas. The Trans-Hindu Kush region, including the Pamas and Badakhshan, which shared borders with the Bolikas Bactria in the west and the Lowes and Rishikas of Sogdianaphagana in the north, constituted the Parma Camboja country. The Trans-Hindu Kush branch of the Cambojas remained pure Iranian, but a large section of the Cambojas of Cis-Hindu Kush appears to have come under Indian cultural influence. The Cambojas are known to have had both Iranian as well as Indian affinities. The Cambojas were also a well-known republican people since epic times. The Mahabharata refers to several or republics of the Cambojas. Kautilya's Arthashastra attests the Cambojas' republican character and Ashoka's edict no. XIII also testifies the presence of the Cambojas along with the Yavanas. Pliny's sutras, though, tend to convey that the Cambodia of Pliny was a Kshatriya monarchy, but the special rule and the exceptional form of derivative he gives to denote the ruler of the Cambojas implies that the king of Cambodia was a titular head king consul only. According to Buddhist texts, the first 14 of the above Mahajanapadas belonged to Mahājanapadas mid-India while the last two belonged to Uttarapatha or the northwest division of Jambudvipa. In a struggle for supremacy that followed in the 6th century BCE, the growing state of the Magadhas emerged as the predominant power in ancient India, annexing several of the Janapadas of the Mahājanapadas. A bitter line in the Puranas laments that Magadhan Emperor Mahapadmananda exterminated all Kshatriyas, none worthy of the name Kshatriya being left thereafter. This refers to the Khasis, Kosalas, Kuras, Panchalas, Vatsyas and other Neo-Vedic tribes of the East Punjab of whom nothing was ever heard except in the legend and poetry. The Nandas usurped the throne of Shishanaga dynasty, thus founding the Nanda Empire. The Cambodians and Gandharians, however, never came into direct contact with the Magadhan state until Chandragupta and Kautilya arose on the scene. But these nations also fell prey to the Achaemenids of Persia during the reign of Cyrus I BC or in the first year of Darius. Cambodia and Gandhar formed the 20th and richest satrapy of the Achaemenid Empire. Cyrus I is said to have destroyed the famous Cambodia city called Kapisi modern Begram in Parapamasade. As we venture forward, let's examine it in detail and gain a deeper appreciation for its significance. The kingdom was located in the region around its capital Varanasi, bounded by the Varana and Asi rivers in the north and south, which gave Varanasi its name. Before Buddha, Kosi was the most powerful of the 16 Mahajanapadas. Several Yotaka tales bear witness to the superiority of its capital over other cities in India and speak highly of its prosperity and opulence. These stories tell of the long struggle for supremacy between Kashi and the three kingdoms of Kosala, Anga and Magadha. Although King Brihadratha of Kashi conquered Kosala, Kashi was later incorporated into Kosala by King Kansa during Buddha's time. The Kashs along with the Kosalas and Vaidhans find mention in Vedic texts and appear to have been a closely allied people. The Matsya Purana and Albarini spell Kashi as Kosika and Korshika respectively. All other ancient texts read Kashi. In this section, we'll be exploring Kosala. The country of Kosala was located to the northwest of Magadha, with its capital at Ayodhya. Its territory corresponded to the modern Awadh or Oudh in central and eastern Uttar Pradesh. It had the river Ganges for its southern, the river Gandak Narayani for its eastern, and the Himalaya mountains for its northern boundary. Later, the kingdom was ruled by the famous King Prasenajit during the era of Mahavira and Buddha, followed by his son Vaidudabha. King Prasenajit was highly educated. His position was further improved by a matrimonial alliance with Magadha. His sister was married to Bimbisara and part of Kosi was given as dowry. There was, however, a struggle for supremacy between King Prasenajit and King Ayodhashatra of Magadha, which was finally settled once the Confederation of Likhavis became conquered by Magadha. Kosala was ultimately merged into Magadha when Vaidudabha was Kosala's ruler. Ayodhya, Saketa, Banaras, and Sravasti were the chief cities of Kosala. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore Kuru and its significance in our journey. The Puranas trace the origin of Kurus from the Purbhata family. Kuru was born after 25 generations of Puru's dynasty, and after 15 generations of Kuru, Kauravas and Pandavas were born. Aitareya Brahmana locates the Kurus in Mahesha and also refers to the Uttarakras as living beyond the Himalayas. According to the Buddhist text Sumangavilasini, the people of Kurashra the Kurus came from the Uttarakru. Vayu Purana attests that Kur, son of Samvasana of the Pur lineage, was the eponymous ancestor of the Kurus and the founder of Kurashra Janapada in Kurukshetra. The country of the Kurus roughly corresponded to the modern Thanza, state of Delhi, and Meerut district of Uttar Pradesh. According to the Yotakas, the capital of the Kurus was Indraprastha Indapota near modern Delhi, which extended 7 leagues. At Buddha's time, the Kuru country was ruled by a titular chieftain king consul named Karavya. The Kurus of the Buddhist period did not occupy the same position as they did in the Vedic period, but they continued to enjoy their ancient reputation for deep wisdom and sound health. The Kurus had matrimonial relations with the Yadavas, the Boas, Trigritas, and the Panchalas. There is a Yotaka reference to King Dhananjaya, introduced as a prince from the lineage of Yudhishthira. Though a well-known monarchical people in the earlier period, the Kurus are known to have switched to a republican form of government during the 6th to 5th centuries BCE. In the 4th century BCE, Kautilya's Arthashastra also attests the Kurus following the Rayashagopajivan royal consul constitution. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of Magadha and exploring its multifaceted nature. The Magadha was one of the most prominent and prosperous of Mahajanapadas. The kingdom of the Magadhas roughly corresponded to the modern districts of Patna and Gaya in southern Bihar and parts of Bengal in the east. The capital city of Pataliputra was bound in the north by the river Ganges, in the east by the river Kompa, in the south by the Vindhya mountains, and in the west by the river Sona. During Buddha's time, its boundaries included Anga. Its earliest capital was Girivraja or Rajagaha, modern Raja, in the Nalanda district of Bihar. The other names for the city were Magadhapura, Brihadrathapura, Vasamati, Kushagrapura and Bimbisarpuri. It was an active center of Jainism in ancient times. The first Buddhist council was held in Rajagaha in the Vaibhara hills. Later on, Patalipatra became the capital of Magadha. As we embark on the next leg of our journey, let's unpack the layers of Mala and examine its core elements. The Malikas are frequently mentioned in Buddhist and Jain works. They were powerful people dwelling in northern India. According to Mahabharata, Pandapatra Bhimasena is said to have conquered the chief of the Malikas in the course of his expedition in eastern India. During the Buddhist period, the Malikas Kshatriya were republican people with their dominion consisting of 9 territories corresponding to the 9 confederated clans. These republican states were known as S2 of these confederations, one with Kushinagar, modern Kasia, near Gorakhpur as its capital, and the second with Pava, modern Fazilnagar, 20 southeast of Kushinagar, as the capital had become very important at the time of Buddha. Kunra is very important in the history of Buddhism since Thumbksisenta. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of Matsya and exploring its multifaceted nature. The country of the Matsya or Mach tribe lay to the south of the Kouros and west of the Yamuna, which separated them from the Panchalas. It roughly corresponded to the former princely state of Jaipur in Rajputana, and included the whole of Alwar with portions of Bharatpur. The capital of Matsya was at Viratanagar, modern Beirut, which is said to have been named after its founder King Virata. In Pali literature, the Matsyas are usually associated with the Sarasanas. The western Matsya was the hill tract on the north bank of the Chambal. A branch of Matsya is also found in later days in the Visakhapatnam region. The Matsyas had not much political importance of their own during the time of Buddha. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Potla and exploring its implications in greater detail. The Panchalas occupied the country to the east of the Kouros between the mountains and river Ganges. It roughly corresponded to modern Bhutan, Farrukhabad and the adjoining districts of Uttar Pradesh. The country was divided into Uttara Panchala and Dakshina Panchala. The northern Panchala had its capital at Adhikatra or Shashravati, modern Ramnagar in the Bareilly district, while southern Panchala had its capital at Kampilya or Kampil in the Farrukhabad district. The famous city of Kanikabir or Kana was situated in the kingdom of Panchala. Originally a monarchical clan, the Panchals appear to have switched to republican corporation in the 6th and 5th centuries BCE. In the 4th century BCE, Kautilya's Arthashastra also tests the Panchalas as following the Rayashabhupajivin king consul constitution. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine Arasena and its connections to our previous discussions. The country of the Sarasanas lay to the east of Matsya and west of Yamuna. This corresponds roughly to the Brai region of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Rajasthan, and Gwalior district of Madhya Pradesh. It had its capital at Madhur or Mathura. Avantapatra, the king of Sarasena, was the first among the chief disciples of Buddha, through whose help Buddhism gained ground in Mathura country. The Andakas and Vrishnis of Mathura Sarasena are referred to in the Ashadhyayi of Pini. In Kautilya's Arthashastra, the Vrishnis are described as Sangha or Republic. The Vrishnis, Andakas and other allied tribes of the Shorseni formed a Sangha, and Vasudeva Krishna is described as the Sangha Mukhya. Mathura, the capital of Sarasena, was also known at the time of Megasthenes as the center of Krishna worship. The Sarasena kingdom had lost its independence on annexation by the Magadhan Empire. Brace yourself for a captivating discussion on G as we explore its nuances and implications. Or was a confederacy of neighboring clans including the Likshavis and one of the principal Mahājanapadas of ancient India. The area they ruled constitutes the region of Mithila in Nepal and northern Bihar, and their capital was the city of Vaishali. Both the Buddhist text Anguttara Nikaya and the Jaina text Bhagavati Sutra Sayaks Udsa I included Vajji in their lists of Solasa 16 Mahājanapadas. The name of this Mahājanapada was derived from one of its ruling clans, the Vajjis. The Vodji state is indicated to have been a republic. This clan is mentioned by Pini, Chanakya and Yuanzhang. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of Vatsa or Vasa and exploring its multifaceted nature. Vatsa or Vasa. The Vatsas or Vamsas are called to be a branch of the Kurus. The Vatsa or Vamsa country corresponded with the territory of modern Pragra in Uttar Pradesh. It had a monarchical form of government with its capital at Kosambi identified with the village Kosam, 38 miles from Pragra. Kosambi was a very prosperous city where a large number of wealthy merchants resided. It was the most important entrant of goods and passengers from the north, west and south. Udayana was the ruler of Vatsa in the 6th century BCE. He was very powerful, warlike and fond of hunting. Initially, King Udayana was opposed to Buddhism, but later became a follower of Buddha and made Buddhism the state religion. Udayana's mother, Queen Rigavati, is notable for being one of the earliest known female rulers in Indian history. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this video.